AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium surpasses WWE SummerSlam 1992 from Wembley Stadium in London. Details on that, plus Jim Ross, his contract with All Elite Wrestling is set to expire next month. Will the WWE Hall of Famer re-sign with All Elite Wrestling? FTR open up on the possibility of CMFTR facing off against the Elite inside of an AEW ring, overcoming the issue stemming from Brawl Out. And Kenny Omega is set for a surprise opponent at AEW All In. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Let's start off talking about AEW All In coming up later this month at London's Wembley Stadium. And AEW has now surpassed yet another major milestone on the road to their biggest event in company history. AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium has smashed a long-standing WWE pay-per-view record with just over 2 weeks to go. With AEW's UK debut taking place on August 27, 2023, it marks the first time a wrestling event has taken place at that iconic venue since WWE SummerSlam in 1992. Now, it must be said, it's not the exact same Wembley Stadium, because that Wembley Stadium was knocked down in 1999/2000. This new one was built several years later, but still, it's Wembley Stadium. It's the same location, kind of. So the point being is, it's an attendance record at the same venue, and it certainly has surpassed it. Now, during the August 9 episode of AEW Dynamite, more matches were announced for the show, which will see Adam Cole and MJF on both the pre-show and in the main event. Of course, the pre-show, they're going to be teaming together for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against Aussie Open. And then in the main event of the show, they're going to be facing off for the AEW World Championship. Now, before AEW Dynamite aired this past Wednesday, WrestleTix provided an update on ticket sales for the upcoming pay-per-view, tweeting, quote, available tickets less than 4,702. Current setup is for 84,048. Tickets distributed 79,346. Resale 1,601. WrestleTix would also note that this smashes the ticket sales for WWE SummerSlam in 1992, saying, quote, they blew past the SummerSlam 92 European record of 79,127 with a big day today. Of course, Tony Khan has seen record attendance at Wembley Stadium previously, with the Denver Broncos versus Jacksonville Jaguars on the 30th of October 2022, drawing an attendance of 86,215. So, do you still care about these milestones? Have you come to accept that AEW is going to draw a big crowd? And still, with there being just over 2 weeks to go, how many more tickets can AEW sell? Will they continue to sell even more tickets? Will they reach over 80,000? Can they still reach 90,000, or is that a bit too far? Of course, the available setup right now is again for around 85,000, but will AEW open up more tickets? And what's your final prediction on how many tickets can be sold? Will this change the narrative about AEW selling out a big stadium like Wembley, or again, will the doubters still be doubters? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and predictions as always. Let's talk about good old JR Jim Ross. Of course, he returned to the commentary booth last weekend on AEW Collision, but Jim Ross's AEW contract is set to expire shortly, and a date has now been given as for when the veteran commentator's deal is reportedly up. Ross has previously spoken on his remaining time in AEW and also recently said that he doesn't plan to retire anytime soon. Having been absent from television since the June 17 debut of AEW Collision, Ross had suffered a health scare and has provided updates on his recovery. He made his return to the commentary table for the main event of the August 5th episode of AEW Collision on TNT. Dave Meltzer has now addressed Ross's return and provided details on his contract coming up later this year in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, quote, Jim Ross returned on the August 5th Collision. He only came out to do the main event of CM Punk versus Ricky Starks. It was not announced ahead of time he'd be there, nor mentioned during the show until his music played. He'd previously said and told us he was targeting London and hoped for a date for his return, but beat that by 3 weeks. His contract expires in September. Ross has recently discussed conversations that he's had with Tony Khan for his return to the commentary team, focusing on AEW Collision. In July 2023, Ross spoke about his return plans, saying AEW All In at Wembley Stadium was his goal. It does look like certainly he's going to make that, but what would you like to see when it comes to Jim Ross's future? Do you think he should retire? Do you think he should leave? Do you think he should stay with AEW? Do you like him in his current role of just doing the main events on AEW Collision? What do you think is best for AEW, and what do you think is best for Jim Ross right now? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, there's a lot of baggage here, isn't there, between the Elite and FTR and CM Punk. Will we ever see the trios match that people are hoping for, which is CM FTR versus Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks? Well, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler have commented on the possibility of a trios match against the Elite alongside CM Punk. Following the announcement that Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page had agreed to renew their contracts with AEW, the Elite made an appearance on the August 2nd edition of Dynamite to confirm this news. During their segment, the group teased that they could even pay a visit to Collision, leading some fans to believe that it may be possible for the Elite to soon work with CM Punk and FTR. Because of the well-documented issues between Punk and the Elite, with a backstage altercation involving Punk, Omega and the Bucks taking place All Out in September of last year, many fans are intrigued by the idea of a match which will pit the parties against each other. Speaking with DAZN Wrestling, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler noted that there are a lot of moving parts surrounding a potential CM FTR versus the Elite match, stating that they're both hopeful about the possibility of this match taking place. They said, quote, and this is Dax Harwood, "I think if the cards fall in the right place and the story's right and the opportunity calls for it, then hell yeah, we can do it." Cash Wheeler said, "It's hard to know with all the moving parts that are involved, and I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think wrestling is all about making the most money for yourselves and for the company you work for, and I think everybody here all agrees that with that and more time passes, the more likely I think it is that we can get there, but you never really know. I don't want to say yes, but I hope so." Of course, FTR, they're set to defend their AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks at the August 27 All In event. Ahead of them, though, of course, CM Punk, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler will challenge Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King, the House of Black, on the August 12 edition of AEW Collision for the AEW World Trios Championships. Now, speaking of All In and speaking of Kenny Omega, an interesting update when it comes to the match that the former AEW World Champion will be competing in at Wembley Stadium in London. Now, two rumoured matches have emerged for the next two AEW pay-per-views, including AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium. AEW All In takes place at Wembley on August 27, 2023, marking the company's UK debut at the iconic London, England venue. A week later, AEW All Out returns for its fifth time over Labor Day weekend on September 3rd at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. With ticket sales, as we mentioned earlier on, having now surpassed those of SummerSlam 1992 at Wembley Stadium, the card for AEW All In continues to be fleshed out. Dave Meltzer has now revealed rumoured plans for Kenny Omega in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, quote, "The Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita match may end up on All Out in Chicago, and a rumoured match at All In was Omega, Adam Page, and Kota Ibushi versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Takeshita." One star, of course, who won't be there is Pac, who's been ruled out of AEW All In after it was announced this week on Dynamite that he had suffered an injury that was ruling him out of the event in London, England. So what are your thoughts on the Omega versus Takeshita match taking place at All Out at the United Center? And what are your thoughts on having the trios match of Omega, Page, and Ibushi against Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita at All In? Does that make sense, or does that feel a little bit off the beaten path? Let me know your thoughts about that also in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. It's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash the like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.